Okay, so I know I am like super late to the Love Island train. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I'm not like the biggest fan of like these style of shows. Like, y'all know I be loving like 90 Day Fiance. So it's not like I don't like dating shows, I would say. However, I just feel like love competition shows. I'm like, I don't know why to me it just comes across as like inauthentic and just very, I don't know, like everybody's acting a fool just for TV. You know what I'm saying? You know what I gotta say though? Okay, because y'all, I'm currently on episode 27, okay? Because my homegirls have been telling me now, oh my gosh, for like weeks now, like you need to get on Love Island, start talking about Love Island. Like they are obsessed with Love Island. But I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like putting it off. And then as soon as like I started watching it, of course, I ended up getting hooked. I have to say, if you guys remember, like, I'm sure you guys probably don't because I know most of you guys are girls. But for the gays out there used to be a gay dating show that was like similar to this called like Prince Charming or something like this. You know what's so crazy? I think I told you guys before on live, like, y'all, during Pride, I got crashed into, and it was like one of, let me not say like the runner up, but it was like one of the runner up of the competition that hit me. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. Thankfully, he was like so freaking sweet. Like, it was, that's a story time for another day. Anyways, I just say because I was like, oh my gosh, it's so ironic that like I used to watch this damn show and then like my car is loaded with gays and then I'm like, oh my gosh, then I go and get freaking hit, sideswiped by one of the runner-ups. I was like, that's so crazy. Anyways, my whole point of saying this is it's so crazy that there's like obviously, you know, this whole like stereotype of like gays being way more promiscuous than straights. And I'm like, watching this Love Island show, which by the way, this is my very first season watching, I'm like, yo, I gotta say, it's not just the gays that are hoes. I'm like, whoa, seeing all these people, I'm like, damn, like, this is definitely, like, damn near an X-rated TV show. But I have to say, I have been hooked. Please don't leave any spoilers. Like I said, I'm on episode, did I say 27? I don't know if it was 26 or 27, but I am up there. And you know what's so sad, y'all, is I barely started watching it like 4 days ago. But I've been watching it like nonstop so that way I can get caught up because I know it's coming to an end soon. Anyways, y'all, so I know a couple of you guys within my Patreon were like, oh, you're going to talk about Love Island, but I didn't know that it was ending already, so I really do wish that I would have, like, got on it sooner, so that way I could have been, you know, talking about it, like, as it was progressing. However, I'm behind, okay, but I will be caught up, obviously. Anyways, y'all, I do have to say, okay, there's a little bit of like spoilers because I do want to talk about a couple things like within this because I was like, damn, of course I've been obsessed with it over the past few days. So there are some things that I want to talk about. So there is spoilers, okay? So if you guys have, you know, not seen this, then maybe you guys don't want to watch this video, you know what I'm saying? Oh, but you know what? I also do got to keep it real with you guys. There's been so many people on that cast that I don't remember everybody's name. So I'm like, I may describe a person and y'all, if you guys know what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyways, a couple of things that I just want to ask you guys before getting into this whole Cierra scandal that's going on right now, which, by the way, as usual, y'all know I got some hot takes, I got some unpopular opinions, but we'll save that for later in the video. Anyways, before jumping into this, okay, because I got to shout out, like, well, I got to call out, okay, my homegirl Cynthia, she says that she really likes Huda. I gotta keep it real with you guys. Huda was triggering me. She reminded me of like an old friend who I used to may or may not have had a podcast with. I was like, whoa, like, why are you becoming obsessed with a man within like 4 days? Like, to me, I was like, girl, you got some issues. And then seeing the way that she was crashing out, I was like, this is like, girl, you're not all right. Like, girl, she kind of like triggered me, to be honest with you. I was like, like, vote her ass off. Like, she was irritating me. But then my homegirl was like, no, like, I don't want to like spoil it for you, but I like her later on in the season. And then as soon as I got caught up, she ended up telling me that she liked Huda more as soon as Jeremiah left. And I was like, okay, I could totally see that because, yeah, she definitely is a little bit more chill. However, like I said, episode 26 or 27, the one that I'm on right now, basically they're like having to watch a baby all day. Maybe it's 28 now that I'm thinking about it. One of the ones, okay? They have to watch a baby right now. And I'm like, even seeing the way she is with her new man, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, damn, girl, chill out. Like, she seems just so high strung and very sensitive. And it seems like being around her would be like walking on thin ice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really like the biggest fan of hers. I do want to say this though. Why? Okay, y'all know I'm not an emotional person, okay? Every time we talk about like, oh yeah, I'm a Pisces, blah, 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 I always say, but I'm not emotional like that. Why, when Olandria was about to get kicked off, well, okay, because to me, I didn't know that she was going to be making a comeback, you know what I'm saying? But when she was getting kicked off, I was like, oh my gosh, Taylor didn't pick her. First of all, I was like, boot Taylor up out of here. I don't know why I was so pissed off by him. And then I was so sad, like, yo, I literally had tears in my eyes. I was like, why am I so invested in this damn show? Like, I literally went into this saying, like, damn, this show is so damn raunchy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I end up becoming obsessed with some of the people on there because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, Olandria, like, honestly, she literally seems like a girl that I would be friends with. You know what I'm saying? Like she seems so like cool, humble, and like just I don't know, really grounded. And I really like the way she speaks to people. She doesn't get too crazy. She's not like I don't know. I just really really like her. So I was like super super sad about that, y'all. Anyways, I just want to give you guys a little bit of like 2 cents over here, and I'm just really curious. I guess the bigger picture is like I seem to like see a divide on the internet about Huda, about her like really being liked and her really being hated. And honestly, I don't hate her by any means. I think that, you know, some parts of the show I was like, oh, she seems cool, but I just feel like within a relationship, I'm like, holy shit. Like, she seems like that type that would almost really push away a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like she doesn't know when to stop. Just like, hey, calm down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like she has to keep on going, keep on arguing, keep on talking her shit, which I gotta keep her with you guys. The reason why I get triggered about people like that is because it totally reminds me of my ex, because I'm the type of person, if I'm mad, I don't want to talk in that moment. Let's talk the next day, because I'm going to say some shit that I don't mean. I'm going to say some shit to hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm mad. And I feel like she's just that type of person that has to like smother you because she needs to fix the problem right away. And it's like, chill out. Everything is going to be fine if you just let things, you know, obviously come to a peaceful, calm resolution in due time. Don't force it. You know what I'm saying? It seems like she was forcing everything. By the way, I do have to say this. Okay, I know a lot of people didn't really like Jeremiah. I thought he was like the finest on the show. Honestly, I was like, damn, he is a good looking man. But I do have to say this though, I almost wonder if he was like going into it like with the intention of like, I'm gonna win the competition. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to win the grand prize. That's kind of the vibes that I was getting. So I don't know. Low-key, if I'm being honest with you, I probably would have liked to have seen him longer on the show, especially as soon as like more new guys came in and then they had to do a forced recoupling with the new guys. Then I think that, I don't know, the dynamic would have been, you know, pretty interesting to see on TV, to see if it does get a little bit more messy. Anyways, y'all, I'm so sorry that I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a rundown on this situation right here, because I'm obviously just getting caught up, and I'm low-key kind of sad that I didn't hop on the damn Love Island train sooner, so that way I could have been making commentary about it. But now I'm like, you know, fully obsessed with it, and it's about to come to an end. Like, I think literally, actually, probably by the time you guys watch, oh no. Yeah, probably by the time you guys are watching this, it's probably over. Oh my gosh. I gotta keep it real with you guys. Before getting into the Cierra drama, okay? One, I really liked her on the show. I thought she seemed so sweet, so kind, so nice. And I don't know, I really, really did like her. I have to say, like, there was a moment there with Nick when he was going on to that new girl. Completely forgot her name. I was like, oh, I was kind of bothered, because I was like, oh, they make a cute little couple. And I don't know, she just seemed so cute to me, and I just really, really liked her, okay? I was seeing this drama floating around the internet about basically like her having to exit from the show from making some remarks, which we will get into, and I'll play her clip and everything like that. However, I didn't talk about it because I didn't really know anything about her. I didn't know anything about the show. And now that I'm like I said, up to like episode 26, 27, or 28. It's one of those three, okay? It's literally, yeah. You guys are probably like, bitch, you literally said 26, you said 27, now it's 28. It's one of those three for sure, though, okay? But anyways, basically, I want to say, though, she had to make her exit within one of those because she was there for one episode and then she was gone. And I'm assuming that Love Island obviously gave her the boot for making a racially derogatory remark. I'm gonna let y'all know before going into this, okay? If you guys are new to my channel, maybe you guys don't know my train of thought. I am a person who, y'all, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Like, I grew up in Los Angeles around a very diverse group of people. And it's so crazy because I'm gonna keep it so real with you guys. Like, even hanging around, like, all of my family and my groups of friends, like, y'all, even, you know, me being gay, like, we all say the F word. Like, we really do. Like, y'all know I love to, y'all, if you guys have been on my live before, y'all know, if you guys feel comfortable calling me it, that's entirely up to you. But honestly, like, my old homegirls, like, used to call me faggle, and I literally am obsessed with it. Like, I don't know why. Like, ever since Superbad, like, my homegirls have called me faggle, and I love it, okay? I obviously am not a person who is very easily sensitive. I really do believe that the person receiving a word, they're fully in control of it. And if somebody were to ever call me the F word, like, it doesn't mean anything to me because I hold the power of that negativity. However, I'm starting to realize that I have such a different mindset compared to the mass majority. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people, if I'm keeping it real, have a, you know, very negative mindset, and they think that people just, if I'm keeping it with you guys, I feel like a lot of people this day and age have a victim like complex, you know what I'm saying? Like they have a victim mindset of like, oh my gosh, somebody said this and they didn't even say it in a derogatory way, they just said it in an ignorant way, then they take it as being racist or whatnot, or you know, homophobic, transphobic, like all these things. And I'm just like, okay, like if it wasn't said in that way, then why are we taking that way? Do you know what I'm saying? And that leads me into my whole thoughts and opinions about this whole Cierra drama. So basically, if you guys are not caught up with this, I guess she was on the show during this time, and actually what's really weird about this is I guess her parents had like access to her Instagram account, so they had came out and they made a statement while she was actually on the show, which to me I was like low key, that's kind of crazy. Like I would almost think like, why would her parents have access to her Instagram? That to me would be a little bit weird. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, the very first post that I saw, by the way, letting you guys know before jumping into this, I'm just going in order of the way that I saw things. Okay, letting you guys know. Well, actually, I'm so stupid. Before getting into that statement, let's go ahead and talk about her remarks. Okay, she had made this post on her story and said, "Botox isn't for everyone, but I love it for me. I am incredibly expressive with my face, and I catch myself frowning for no reason throughout the day when I'm focusing on something or thinking too hard. I can also be a little C word, which is derogatory towards the Asian community." I was gonna say derogatory slash racist, both of them. I laugh, smile, blah, blah, blah. You guys see the rest right there, okay? She said the C word, and I do want to say before going into this, okay? And this is me outing myself. You guys can unsubscribe. You guys can cancel me. You guys can hate me. I barely learned that that was a racial slur slash derogatory term towards the Asian community probably about 7 years ago. Okay, I'm keeping it so real with you guys. I grew up, like y'all, if you guys are from the LA area, I grew up underneath going to Long Beach Unified School District. If you guys know anything about Long Beach Unified School District, I am not exaggerating to you. For every white person, there's a black person. For every black person, there's an Asian person. For every Asian person, there's a Mexican person or a Hispanic person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of like, it was so diverse that all of us spoke with a lingo that was like, we picked up off of each other's lingo. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to keep it so real with you guys. Actually, back when I was in school, which was in like the 2000s, early 2000s, like 2000 and, you know, well, I was in high school from 2000 and what, 4 to 2008. During this time, everybody would even say the N-word as saying homie and bro. It wasn't meant in like a negative way. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because if y'all are in LA, y'all know a lot of people still say the N-word as saying homie or bro. And I'm saying the N-word with the A at the end. You know what I'm saying? Not ER. Obviously, I feel like everybody has always known that that was racist. However, things get very difficult when you're hanging around a group of friends. And I'm not blaming it like, no, nobody should have to educate you. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But what I'm saying is it is difficult. So when you are hanging out with a group of people and they're saying a word and you say the word too, and then you're thinking like, oh, they didn't say anything, whatever, like this is just how we talk, like they're not offended by it, they're not pressed by it, so you go continuing on your life thinking that this word is okay. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you're hanging out with a group of people and this is the lingo, then that's just what you're thinking is fine. Like I said earlier, me and y'all know we've had this conversation on lives before to where I said, oh my gosh, I love when people call me faggle. Like to me, it's a term of endearment. I think it's so cute. It's like a gay bagel. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it comes from the movie Superbad. If you hang out with me and you guys, you know, say that word around me, but then you go around somebody else, another gay person, they may take that very offensive. Do you know what I'm saying? However, I would never check anybody for saying it only because I don't care. Like, I love that. Do you know what I'm saying? And honestly, even within my friend group, even within like my family or whatever, like if we say like a fag hag or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody gets pressed by that. And I think obviously because half of my family is gay. But my whole purpose of saying this is, when you grow up in a bubble, obviously you think that that's just fine. And I think a lot of people from other states who don't grow up with diversity, they're not used to this. You know what I'm saying? They grew up knowing like, okay, you can't say this, can't say that. And like, okay, cool. But then when you hang out with a group of people, you think that a word is fine. And specifically like the C word, honestly, like I just thought it meant like you just have little eyes. Dead ass. I never, like I said, up until maybe 6 or 7 years ago, then I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it was a derogatory term towards Asian people. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to say that I feel like, honestly, and y'all know I'm always saying this, I feel like us as a society, we've become a little bit too cutthroat when people make honest mistakes. She was saying that her eyes look like that. Do you know what I'm saying? She wasn't saying that towards an Asian person. She wasn't saying that towards the Asian community. Like, I just have to keep it real with you guys. And if that gets me hate, that gets me hate. Honestly, I'm at the point in my life to where I really don't care. That's my opinion. I really do think that people this day and age are way too sensitive. If she was saying it towards an Asian person, obviously like saying it in a hurtful, hateful way, then that obviously means that she knows that there is weight behind that and she knows that it is racist to say that. Then I think, okay, that's a whole different story. I wouldn't even be having the same tone within my video. I'd be like, okay, she's a shitty person. But I think when you make a comment like this, and y'all, I've heard, if I had $1 for every damn person that I have heard that, like, especially on, I gotta keep it real with you guys, like within the Hispanic community, like a lot of people be saying that their eyes look this way. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my eyes look C-word. Do you know what I mean? Which a lot of people are not educated on it. Do you know what I mean? Like they really aren't. And this is where I say it all comes down to ignorance, you know? And it's so crazy because recently I just made a video talking about James Charles and how he was ignorant about it. And y'all know that I've said it. I'll be the first bitch to out myself. I don't care. Like, honestly, I have been so ignorant in my life because I haven't known what words mean. And I honestly thank God for the people who have been so graceful in my life, who have been like, hey, like, you can't say that. Like, that's actually, like, you know, a bad word to say or whatever. I'll be like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, y'all know I don't speak Spanish. And so, say, for example, like, a lot of my homegirls, you know, obviously, they be teaching me all the bad words. And I'll be saying it, joking around. They'll be like, bitch, like, oh my God, like, don't say that, you know, it's like really bad. And I was like, oh, I thought it wasn't even that bad. Like, what the hell, girl? You call me that all the time. And they'll be like, girl, but like, yeah, you can't say that like in public, you know? I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I'm ignorant to it because I don't speak Spanish, you know what I'm saying? So I honestly really believe that people need to be a little bit more graceful in life. However, okay, getting down into this whole entire situation, of course, a lot of people were offended. And look, I get it. If people are going to be offended by this, I think it totally makes sense. Obviously, this is a derogatory word that is used towards, you know, the Asian community. I get that. I'm not taking away from that whatsoever. However, I feel like this was a perfect moment for education, okay? Especially in the context of which she was using it, okay? Because like I said earlier, if she was saying it towards an Asian person and she was popping off on them, then she obviously knows that there is a racial weight behind that. Do you know what I'm saying? But y'all know me, okay? Like, I'm always going to give the benefit of the doubt. Like, I really do feel like this day and age, people are so fucking quick to, oh, cancel that person, cancel them, block them, take them off the damn show, or get their brand deals taken away. I'm like, oh my God, like, the amount of people that I see on the internet act like they have never said anything offensive or wrong, do you know what I mean? Especially without knowing, without being educated. I'm like, you guys are all fake ass bitches. I am so sorry. I gotta keep it real for all the people out there that are like, oh my God, she needs to be canceled from the show. Take her off. Like, you're going that hard. I'm like, I know damn well if I were to go through your freaking text messages, if I were to go through your DMs or your stories or whatever, like, you have said something fucked up that was, you know, probably either, you know, homophobic, transphobic, racist. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people obviously are not educated about a lot of things. And this is where I get a little bit like, this is a perfect moment for education, okay? I gotta keep it real. I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting them to kick her off of the show. Like, I really think that she could have just, like, issued a public apology and just, like, let it be at that. But I don't know. This day and age, I feel like, woo, damn, this is why I firmly believe, okay? Like, always talking to my brother, I'm like, damn, why is the younger generation, like, my brother right now, he's 22, and I'm like, my cousin also, she's 22, and I'm like, why are you guys like all so depressed? Like, I feel like everybody feels like they need to walk on eggshells. They're so scared to make a mistake. They're so scared to even like accidentally, you know, fumble and say something wrong because they're gonna get hate or get canceled or like whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, damn, like, we all need to be a little bit more graceful, okay? But I'm starting to see that I'm the only bitch up on the internet that really feels that way. Like, I feel like everybody else is like, oh, cancel the bitch. And I'm like, no, like, educate the bitch. That's literally my saying. Like, if I ever fuck up, I would hope that somebody would educate me. And honestly, I have been given that grace in life. Honestly, I have said some things that I'm like, oh shit, shouldn't have said that. And people will be like, hey bitch, like, can't say that. And honestly, I appreciate that grace. And I just would hope that it would go around. But clearly my wishful thinking is that only wishful thinking. Anyways, going back to the parents, okay, so this is what I had first saw, okay, after those racist remarks had came out. Basically, she was still on the show, I guess, at this time, and, you know, starting this off, which I was like, I feel like this was almost like, maybe Cierra had to have communicated with them. That's just my little 2 cents. I don't really know. Anyways, this was posted onto, I believe, her Instagram. I don't know. I got this screenshot from Reddit. As Cierra's parents, this has been one of the most painful weeks of our lives. We've seen the post, the headlines, the hurt, and the hate. And while Cierra hasn't seen any of it yet, we have. And so have the people who love her. We're not here to justify or ignore what's surfaced. We understand why people people are upset, and we know accountability matters. But that's happening online right now has gone on, or what's happening online right now has gone far beyond that. The threats, the cruel messages, the attacks on her family, her friends, even her supporters, it's heartbreaking, it's uncalled for, and no one deserves that kind of hate no matter what mistake they've made. While Cierra is not in the villa anymore, she is still away. She hasn't had the chance to process any of this or speak for herself, but we know our daughter, we know her heart, and we know when she returns, we believe she'll face this with honesty, growth, and grace. While she'll always be our little girl, she's also a woman, one who will take responsibility in her own time and her own voice. Until then, we're simply asking for compassion, for patience, for basic human decency, not just for her, but for everyone caught in the middle of this. Thank you for those who've continued to show love, even when not easy. With love, her family. The reason they put this out is because, oh my gosh, of course, people were going in. Like I have said before, I've stated this so many times, people use a specific situation to unleash their hate, okay? I have seen this time and time again to where people are like, oh, damn, this person's getting canceled. Let me jump in and bash them. Let's hop on the hate train and bash them. Oh, that sounded like I was defending Colleen Ballinger right there, not the hate train. I did not mean it in that type of way, y'all. But you know what I'm saying? People really do hop on the hate train for real. And they're just like, oh my gosh, let me bash this person. And it's like, whoa, they're looking for an outlet to obviously guide, or honestly misguide, their internal anger. You know what I'm saying? Because she was getting some really fucked up comments, and like people were going in on her. And this is where I say, I can't stand the holier than thou mentality, seeing all these people bash her, when I'm like, I know for a damn fact you have probably said something that was offensive or derogatory, you know, before. And the fact that you're getting out there and acting like you're so innocent, that's such bullshit to me, okay? Anyways, I do want to go ahead and play. I'm gonna have to speed it up because damn, I have talked a lot within this video. It's already long. I'm gonna play a clip from her actually addressing this whole entire situation, and she did have to exit from Love Island, obviously, because of this. And then I'll go ahead and play this clip for you guys. Once again, it's sped up, but you guys can actually find the slowed down version, or just actually you guys can slow it down on here on YouTube anyways. On Patreon, I don't know if you guys can slow it down. I don't know about that. But yeah, anyways, it's like really long. Just letting you guys know. Check it out.
A lot of people have been waiting for me to speak up about the news that's come to light recently. And now that I've been back in the US for about 48 hours and I've had the chance to process, I now feel like I'm at a space where I can speak about this without being highly emotional, because I am not the victim in this situation. While I was in the villa, there were some posts that resurfaced from my past where I was very naively using an incredibly offensive and derogatory term. And before I get into the details, I want to first start by addressing not just anyone that I have hurt or deeply offended, but most importantly, the entire Asian community. I am deeply, truly, honestly so sorry. I had no idea that the word held as much pain, as much harm, and came with the history that it did, or I never would have used it. I had no ill intention when I was using it, but that's absolutely no excuse, because intent doesn't excuse ignorance. It just doesn't. And I just need you to know that I am so sorry. But this is not an apology video. This is an accountability video. I do want to hold my hands up and say that I take accountability for using the word, but I do want it to be known that I genuinely had no idea that it was a slur. I had no idea of its meaning. And it wasn't until I made the public story post in 2024 when a follower of mine reached out to correct me and let me know that what I was saying was incredibly hurtful. It was a derogatory term. It was a slur. And in that moment, I was embarrassed. I, of course, immediately deleted the post. I was apologetic, and I educated not only myself on the true meaning and history of the word, but also anyone around me who was accidentally holding space for this slur. When this person did message me, which I'm so grateful that she did, I had a good conversation with her about it. I made the correction immediately. The word was immediately removed from my vocabulary. And I think right now there are tons of things floating around, different screenshots with different timestamps, and fueling this narrative that I sort of doubled down once people tried to correct me and was like, oh, like, I don't know, I'm still gonna use it. But that was not the case. Like, the truth is that in that moment, the lesson was learned, the word was removed, and it was a true learning moment for me. And I think since that moment, I've done so much growing as an individual, and I've tried my best to educate others who might be accidentally holding space for these types of words that could be offensive in their vocabulary. I completely agree with the network's decision to remove me from the villa. I think that this is something that deserved punishment, and the punishment has absolutely been received for sure. I think the backlash has obviously been very hard to deal with, but I understand that people are kind of confused on why I would have even said it, or why I would have been doubling down and continuing to use it. So I understand where the hate is coming from. And, you know, I can do my best to drown out the noise and pay attention to the truth. But what's been extremely, extremely difficult is the way people are approaching my family and my loved ones. you know, they have had ICE called on them. My family doesn't feel safe in their own home. I'm receiving threats. Like, there's no need to fight hate with hate. I don't think that that's justice. And if you want to know that you're heard and that I'm sorry and that I will move differently, I promise you that's what will happen. I know that no apology could ever be enough for the harm that I've caused and the offense that's taken place. I know that moving forward, my actions and how I decide to live my life from here on out is going to speak louder than any apology ever could. But I do need it to be known that I am sorry and I did mean no harm. And hopefully there are people out there that can use my mistake as a learning moment.
I gotta keep it real with you guys. I think that that was very graceful. I think that was a very nice apology. I know she said that it was accountability, not an apology, which obviously I think accountability is even better. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when you take accountability for something, it's like you're recognizing that it was a mistake and you're not gonna make that mistake again. However, I do know that her statement wasn't towards me, it was towards the Asian community, rightfully so. I have to say this though, and you know, like I said before, and obviously I see the way people talk about me sometimes in these like Reddit forums and shit like that, and I'm just kind of like, you know what's so crazy is because I know when I watch back my videos when I'm editing them, I know that I have the best intentions. I know that I have a good heart. And I know that even when people are like, oh my gosh, you should bash a person. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to bash a person. Like, I know that I am doing the right. Do you know what I'm saying? And to see her get so much hate, the fact that like people were like making ICE threats against her family and shit is absolutely insane. Like, it's insane. She fucked up. She made a mistake and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously she's going to learn and grow from this. She's still a young girl. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I see so many people on the internet don't give grace, I think it's fucked up. And I really do think that karma will come back to these people who act this way, who act holier than thou and think that they're better than and think that they've never made a mistake before. I think it's insane. Yeah, she fucked up. Yeah, she made a mistake, but I really do think even from her video, I think that she was handling it really good. And if I'm being so for with you guys, I think like they were like the only real couple on there. Honestly, I was like, oh, like they seem like the only legit one. The other connections to me just seem kind of like, oh, like I guess we'll couple up. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh damn, like this sucks. Obviously that it, you know, it came to an end, but hey, obviously I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. I just think sometimes, you know, sometimes people can be a little bit too harsh in my personal opinion, but that's just me. I'm obviously always going to look at things differently, okay? I really, if y'all said some fucked up shit towards me before, I would forgive you. You know what I'm saying? And I would be like, I wouldn't want you to get fired from your job. I wouldn't want you to, you know, have to face, you know, repercussions or whatever. Like if you made a mistake or whatever, you apologize for it, then I think then that's it. Then you should be given an opportunity to move forward. If you have repeated behavior, that's when things obviously change, and that's when my opinion will change, obviously, because then it's like, okay, Len, you're a shitty person, you know what I'm saying? But if this is like her first time barely being educated on this and not knowing what this word meant, which, like I said, I outed myself completely. I'm telling you, I barely learned like 7 years ago. I want to say I was like freaking like, you know, 27, 28 years old, barely when I learned that it was, you know, racist and derogatory. I literally didn't know. And I think a lot of other people out there really don't know. And I think that, you know, people obviously need to be a little bit more graceful and educate people on this and give them an opportunity to grow. But that's just my little 2 cents, okay? I know clearly it's a hot take because damn, reading everybody's comments, I'm like, fuck, people are so hateful these days. That's never going to be me, okay? Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.